Everybody ain't doing everything. You can't say everybody's doing everything. You can't say that. Not in a full way. Like it's always got to be. And with humans, it's certain people do this, certain people do that. It's just that's how it is. Okay, that's how it is. And with this particular thing, this is a white problem. This is a white tribe problem. Okay, and that's what it is. Now, crack selling, gang banging, white people are not really doing that. That's a black problem. Where kids are being killed at the hands of at 187s. That's a black problem. That's an African American problem. We can't make the white tribe seem like they're doing that. They're not gang banging. They're not doing 187s. Okay? They're not doing 187s. We are. We all got to take responsibility, But when it comes to this pedophilia, I don't want to hear nothing about. I don't want no white boys showing their face like they don't know what's going on. Okay, 72% of the white tribe, just for you white guys that don't know, 72% of the white tribe is responsible. They're registered sex offenders. I'm not trying to demonize anybody. That's what it is. I don't have to. It speaks for itself. Now you can deny it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But you're not gonna sit here and play like it's a black problem, or it's a black thing, or the black man, which is me, have problems with things like this. I don't have problems with that. I got a fully grown woman that I see. You understand? I have a fully grown woman. Now, if you want to split hairs, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, that's what I do. Understand? That's what I do. And I'm not going to give anybody the luxury to play with my reality. That's my reality. Whether you like it or accept it, or you want to play video games, you still want to play games, then you get cursed. You get broke down. You die at the hands of God. Ain't nobody playing no games. Because people can now clearly see what I do. People clearly see what I do. That's case closed. Case closed, bro. Ain't nobody, man, I ain't talking about nothing else. And so for y'all to continue to play games, you're going to lose real quick. Because God is we're made in the image of God. Can you imagine how masculine God is? 100% infinite in masculinity. You think God's going to play games with you when everybody clearly see I'm with a grown woman and you still playing games? You think God's going to play with you? I'm telling you now, it's finna get dirty. It's finna get nasty, bro. Because people clearly see it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. Who cares about you? You think I'm at your mercy? I'm not scared. I'm not at your mercy. You thought that. I'm not at your mercy. You're dreaming. You're playing fantasy football in your head. I'm not at your mercy. I'm not at any man's mercy. I'm at God's mercy. You done lost your mind. You got 44 states married children over here. Can't be serious. Won't you go fix your country? That's what you need to go do. Won't you go fix these nasty laws that allow people to marry children at any age? Won't you go do something about that? But see, that's where you get soft at. That's where you get soft right there. Right there. That's where you get soft. That's where you get soft at. And that's why I don't take you seriously. Because I showed you where it's happening. I showed you where it's at. And look at you, you ain't got nothing to say, do you? So what it is you think you can play with me. But you can't. You can't. You can't play with me. Look at your country. That's after they played with me, by the way. That's after they played with me. So if you question anybody's manhood or anybody being a man-child, Well, I would think a man-child would be a person that marries children, if I'm not mistaken. A man-child would be someone that has 44 states married children. Well, you wanna be with a kid. What grown man driving around wants to be with a kid? What grown man walking these streets want to be a kid? Will be with a kid? Huh? Well, technically speaking, New York does. Well, New York has the age of consent at 17, guys. I gotta be balanced. Everybody act here like they're head honchos and they're machos and all of this and that, eating nachos. But you got the age of consent under 18 here too. So what does that say for your head honcho guys? What does that say for all the machos? What does that say for them? That's what I'm saying. It's trouble. It's a nightmare playing with me. It's a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare playing with me, man. When y'all sitting up here looking at me and you got the age under 18 too here in New York City. You slipping too, buddy. Which means none of your residents has the right, whether it be community, police, or anybody. You don't even, in my book, you don't even have the right to even be looking at anybody like that. If you don't see them doing nothing, you gotta kick rocks. Bottom line, buddy. If you don't see nobody doing nothing, your city is so funky, you gotta keep it pushing. You gotta keep it pushing, buddy. Like you on the dirty side of town, you gotta keep it pushing. Hey, yeah. What you thought I was gonna let you play with me by ain't checking you? Bruh, the whole state of New York, the age is under 18 for consent for sex, okay? Which means grown men can have sex with legal children. Okay? I just recommend that you guys fall back because it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare playing over here. I'm telling you, it's going to be a nightmare. See, what you understand, I was designed to do this. I was designed to be on top. I ain't got to work my way to it. I was designed to be on top. It's a big difference. Some of y'all made up. That's what happened with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was never supposed to be no king. That man was never supposed to be no king. But you got all the discernment in the world. But you put Donald Trump in office. That's what I'm saying. So once you made that mistake, I shouldn't trust anything you say and do. As far as knowing who a king is, he's the king of the earth. Why should I believe you? You the same people that put Donald Trump in office. That part over the whole country. You put that washed up man in office. Wow. He's more washed up than anything. That's what it is. And you think because he got a young looking wife, he's cutting edge. You crazy. This man is washed up. And probably the only thing you better hope they prosecute him because he might get back in office again. Who knows these things? We don't know these things. But what we do know is you did put him in office before. That's what we do know. You the same people that put Donald Trump in office. See, everybody's not born a king. He's a perfect example. That man was never supposed to be no king over this country. That was never meant to happen. That was not supposed to happen. But yet it did. So you think I trust the discretion of people that do that? You can't be serious, man. And Joe Biden, you got to watch him. That's a little sneaky little man. He's sneaky. You would think he's like a little quiet, older guy, humble guy. Nah. I'm gonna tell you how I know he ain't like that. Behind closed doors. He was pursuing Edward Snowden. Go Google Edward Snowden. This man was pursuing Edward Snowden after Edward Snowden left this country. He was sending calls to different countries to stop Edward Snowden for finding refuge in another country. Now, you can't be no humble, quiet man doing that. Can you imagine a humble, quiet man making calls doing that? That's what I'm saying. That's why I think he's sneaky. Two-faced, some people would say. Got one face this one moment and got another face another moment. That's what being real two-faced means. You got one face this way, and then you come over here and you got another face. You got one face out to the public and you got another face behind closed doors. And Obama can't vouch for who Joe Biden is. And them two different people. I'm sorry. That man got to stand on his own. And he was making calls to concerning Edward Snowden, trying to stop other countries for giving him asylum, refuge, and for trying to stop them from getting asylum over there, and this is just what you have. This is what you have. You put that man in office, and let me tell you about Edward Snowden, just in case you don't know. Edward Snowden comes from a line of military and government family, right? He comes from a family of honor towards this country. He had no reason to betray this country. He found out, in essence, that we as a community were being put under surveillance by the government. Edward Snowden found out this information at his job, right? He found it to be wrong, and he revealed this information to the community, which he felt was doing a justice to the community. Now, in the process of doing this, he had to leave the country. Okay? And so when he left the country, yours truly, Joe Biden, called other countries not to give him refuge because he revealed this information to the American community. Asylum, I guess they call it. But I'm just saying refuge. He couldn't find refuge in another country. Asylum in another country. And yours truly, sneaky Joe Biden, was behind it. That's why I don't trust him. Because I've heard from a military person, they don't like him because they feel like, he put people in harm's way. Well, I don't see it that way. I don't see that he put anybody in harm's way. Who? Who's going to attack? Come on. Who's going to attack? Because he revealed that the American government is putting us under unnecessary surveillance? Who's going to attack based off that? And who are they going to attack? And should you be mad about it? After all, that's like, that's breaking our constitutional rights. We shouldn't have those people over us that are using this country's goods and strength, but not keeping the Constitution in place. This ain't the America that's presently here is not all the America that ever has been. They don't own this. They have to abide by the laws of the forefathers. They are just the present day American community and government. You have to remember that they are not the only. This is not the only set of government that's been here. Some of these 50, 60 years ago, none of them was there. None of them was there 60 years ago. It was a whole different set of government in the 60 years before that, and so on and so on and so on. This is just the present day government set of government. The present day set of government. You don't have to be intimidated by these people. They will die off eventually anyway. And here you are intimidated. They don't own this. They have to abide by this. You see the difference? They do not own the American government. They have to abide by the Constitution. Okay? That's what you got to understand. You acting like you can't be docile as an American. Y'all Americans, y'all got to come out of being so docile. For real. You really are civilians. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about what your government is doing. You can't be walking around like that. You can't be intimidated by the present set of government. You have to hold them to the same integrity of the people before them, and so on and so on and so on. They're just in the position. They don't own that. You have the right to hold FBI, CIA, all of them, military, all of them. You have the right to hold them to the Constitution. Bottom line, and you need to understand that. You need to understand that now. They don't own that. Especially when they're breaking the constitutional rights. I guess they don't think a black man knows about his constitutional rights. Because usually it's the patriots, the white patriots that's always talking about it. It's usually the white patriots. We have the right to bear arms. Freedom of speech. Now, a black man telling you about, hey, I got my constitutional rights. If you playing any conspiracies, if you're doing any conspiracy, I don't care if it's in the name of hood, gangsters, hood, street politics, I don't care about none of that. Police, thugs, gangsters, if you have me under any surveillance, you are breaking my constitutional rights. And you're going to be held accountable. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you've been told. I don't care. If you break my constitutional rights for putting me under surveillance, illegal surveillance without a probable cause and evidence to support your cause, you are mine. You are mine. I don't care what you've been told. You mine. And look, guess what? I'm going to get you without breaking your constitutional rights. I ain't got to break your constitutional rights. And I'm still going to beat you and defeat you. How about that? Yeah, you don't get. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say and who you are. If you break my constitutional rights, we're putting me under illegal surveillance, just like what Edward Snowden was trying to tell us about, and Joe Biden was trying to stop him from getting refuge in another country. If you breaking my constitutional rights, brother, you mine. You mine. I don't care what you say. And I'm going to give you to God, and God's going to destroy you. I'm not playing any games. I'm not playing any games. I don't play them street games, them hood politics games. Now, if I was getting money out in the streets, that'd be a different situation. I'm not getting money out there, so why am I put myself in the mix of that? Who would do that? You in street politics, but you ain't getting no money. You got to be crazy. Why would I put myself in hood politics, but I ain't getting no money from the hood? That part. Now, I can see if you was getting money, that comes with it. The politics comes with getting money. But it don't come with not getting money. That's retarded. and I ain't allowing it. If I ain't getting money in my hand, in my pocket, I don't care about your pockets. That's how you know I ain't no player hater. If I ain't getting money in my hands, in my pockets, it's over for them. I don't care. You can't do nothing for them. You can't do nothing for them. They shouldn't have put me in their politics and I wasn't in the game. They shouldn't have put me in their politics and I wasn't out here getting money. That's the bottom line. I ain't trying to hear nothing else. I don't care what you heard. I don't care. I'm talking about the game and out here getting money. That's what I'm talking about. Those two, that's street politics. That's the foundation of it. If I ain't in that, if I ain't out here getting money and I'm not in the game, you mine, man. That's how I got you. Hey, you ain't got no reason, in other words, to really be talking about something you didn't see and you didn't see me do or nothing. You don't know the context of it or anything. That goes against your nature as street people. Well, street people don't go around accusing people of things they didn't see. Street people, you want to talk about them, they don't play with things they don't know about. We got to stop all this fake fraudulent stuff. You ain't no street person sitting up here yapping about something you didn't see somebody do. And I don't care where you're from, coast to coast, borough to borough, city to city. Street people don't go around playing around people and they didn't see them do anything. So you put yourself in that situation, big boy. You put yourself in that situation, partner. I ain't got nothing to do with it. All I know is if you played around me, you out of here.